Hello, and welcome into an early access look at the new Horsch Agrovation Pack DLC for Farming Simulator 22. DLC is included in the Season 2 Pass and contains 14 new pieces of equipment and also the revised Agrovation map. I will show off the map at the end of this video, but first, let's look at all the new implements. There's some interesting and really cool mechanics to some of these, so let's dive right in. All right, we're going to take a look at these separately, but first, just get an overview of what we got. Start off, we have two mulchers, a shallow cultivator, a regular cultivator, a disc harrow, an additional tank, always comes in handy for extra seed or fert. They have 4 separate seeders, different styles, different capacities. 2 types of planters. Then 2 machines for weeds. We have a weeder and a hoe. 14 pieces of equipment. Highly detailed. Very well done. There are some interesting features as we get into looking at each one that I think everyone is going to like. So let's just dive in from the start. See what we got. The first one we have is the Cultivators 9TC. It is a mulcher. It is 8.9 meters. Which is bigger than the base game currently. You have the option there for the additional weight. Yes or no. The weight comes right there in the middle. Give everything a little bit more heft. It does go 11 miles an hour. It is as I said, a highly detailed piece of equipment. It is a nice mulcher at 8.9 meters, 240 horsepower required. All the hoses, all the good stuff hooks up. The Cultivators 9TC. The second mulcher that we have is the Cultivators 12TC. It's 12.2 meters, again 11 miles an hour, 270 horsepower. Starts off at 78 grand. Not too bad. We have Trelleborg, Michelin, BKT, and Vredestein. No wheel changes you can make, just the brands. The equipment, Design 1, Design 2. So different tines up there, springs. Whichever one you prefer, 2 different designs. Again, a very detailed and cool machine. 12.2 meters for a mulcher for 79 grand. Not a bad price. And up next, in Cultivators, the shallow cultivator, the Finer 6SL. 220 horsepower to run it, 6 meters, goes 9 miles an hour. This thing's got some pretty cool features with it. Under seeder unit, yes, you put a seeder unit on it. You're going to plant your wheat, barley, oat, canola, soybean, sorghum, oilseed, and grass, just like a regular seeder would. And it's a cultivator. And you have many design options here. Bunch of different tine options on the backs. Wheels, stability, rolling, more tines, more wheels and tines, a ton of different stuff. 7 different variations, or the basic. But it's a cultivator, a shallow cultivator, and a seeder. 2 things in one. Again, this is going to be a theme of this pack. Multiple uses for 1 piece of equipment. So a seeder unit on a shallow cultivator. Up next, in the regular cultivators, we have the Tiger 8MT. 440 horsepower, so a little bit larger tractor needed to pull this. 7.5 meters and goes 9 miles an hour. 78 grand. Again, not very expensive. Again, this has some very distinct features to it. You see there, we got a fertilizer distribution unit. Click that on. You can see the tank, the hoses. This will distribute fertilizer. And you're going to want to get your extra tank that we'll show off later. But it will do fertilizer. I did test this a little bit. It is working with precision farming. It will show the last crop on the field. So if you're cultivating over wheat, it will show wheat, but you can change that valuation pressing Y on keyboard, whatever your button may be, to change the crop that you're fertilizing for. So you can sort of pre-fert precision farming for the crop you're going to use. So again, a cultivator that will fert. Now, if you're not using precision farming, this will just give you a blanket fert state, just one. So again, two things in one. It's a cultivator, pretty wide one at that, 7.5 meters, and it will fert at the same time. And you also have these top ring rollers here. On the back there, you can see those rollers. Interesting again, but a cultivator that distributes fert. And next up in disc harrow, we have the Joker 8RT. 330 horsepower. Not bad for a disc harrow. It's 8.2 meters, 11 miles per hour, 82 grand. And nothing super expensive. 330 horsepower for this is not too bad. This is where things get interesting though. As you see there, equipment is standard. Normal there. Comes with a seeder unit, so you can seed grass and oilseed radish with a disc harrow. Kind of interesting. You click again, we have a slurry distributor, a disc harrow with a slurry distributor. This will distribute slurries. You can see all the cool hoses and features running through there. The green for the slurry. It's gonna put slurry down on your field. Then next, for 16 grand, a seeder unit plus the slurry distributor. Seeding grass and oilseed and putting slurry down at the same time. Now, how you do this is a little bit interesting. If we go back and we click on combinations for this, you can see we got a weight, pretty standard. The Hydrotrike 5x5 and the AT5104 LNMS. These actually go on the back of this equipment. So if we get this, and this is what I tested it with, it will hook to the back of this. It'll be a disc harrow that holds your slurry, and you can go along the field and distribute slurry with this while you're disc harrowing. And it also, this has the John Deere manure sensing on it and the Aceria Pro. So you're literally spreading the correct amount with a disc harrow. Again, this one has the same, the Aceria and the manure sensing. So you're pulling a disc harrow behind one of these machines, and you're either planting grass or oilseed if you choose, and applying the correct amount of fert at the same time. Now the capacity is not very high on these for the seed, so you will have to fill up occasionally. The capacities on the slurries in the 20,000 liters, so not bad. But again, the combination of different features into one, seeding grass or oilseed, applying slurry, and using a disc harrow all at the same time, very, very cool. Now here's our Horsch Partner 1600 FT, pretty standard extra tank. It's got the hose attachments. It all looks fantastic with the hoses. No clipping that I found of those hoses at all. Again, everything is insanely detailed. This does hold seed and fert. You're gonna need this for some of these equipment, especially with the dual functions that they have. It holds 1600 liters, 19,500. Your configuration is standard. You got tire rollers if you choose to use it that way, so you can lower it. It'll go along the ground. You got a roll pack packer. Now, I didn't notice any of these actually rolled, as in the state, but again, it looks amazing as a detail, as a different option. And then finally, you have a standard. The standard comes with an additional weight if you choose. You have 120 kilos. You can see the slices on the back there. 180, 240, all the way up to 360. So again, additional weights. Want to balance things out with the big equipment behind you. But again, you're going to need this for a lot of the different equipment. Standard extra seed fert tank. Now we got the first of 4 seeders. First one is the Taro 6 SL. 200 horsepower required for this. 6 meters, goes 12 miles per hour. You will need the front tank we just showed for this. Our options, we got the packer, the Rolflex packer, the trapezoidal ring roller, which just is fun to say. So a trapezoidal ring roller. Again, very cool. And your Rolflex up front. Your trapezoidal. Very, very interesting options on these. We have track loosening tines. no, and yes. And you can see those are up here. So they chop up where your tires were, make it, you know, not compacted. Feeder unit, design 2, design 1. So just a little bit different design on those two. Still does the same. But again, a nice smaller seeder at 6 meters. But very cool looking. And up next, the next 3 seeder are all direct drill. The first one was not. These all are, so they're very, very versatile. The Pronto 3DC holds 2,800 liters of seed to start off with. 150 horsepower, so not much needed. It's only 3 meters. It does go 11 miles an hour. It starts off at 65 grand. So your tank setups, you got 2,800, or the big boy, 4,000. Wheel setup, standard. You got small tire rollers up in the front there. Again, a little bit more stability. You have the tire rollers, which is not small, for 4 grand. And then back to standard. And then, of course, ridge markers. If you're into that sort of thing, yes and no. A nice small 3-meter seeder. Takes your standard crops. Wheat, barley, oat, canola, soybeans, sorghum, seed and grass. The next seeder we're on to is the Pronto 6DC. Holds 4,000 in base. As I see, that will go up. 200 horsepower at 6 meters and 11 miles an hour. 111 grand. A little bit more expensive, but you'll see. It's got a lot of nice features too. So we got 4,000 on the tank, 4,400, 5,000, 5,400. Seeds and fert combo, 2 for seeds, 3,000 for fert, 2,400 and 3,000, and then back to your standard. So seeds or seeds and fert, either way you want to go there. The tire rollers, yes and no. This one only has the one option, not the small and the large. Roll control, yes. 2,500 bucks. You see if we can get around the back here so you can see that. Right there, a different hose setup for the roll control. Ridge markers, yes and no. So a little bit bigger, 6 meters, 200 horsepower. It's still very cool with the options for the seeds and the fert. And the last seeder, and the biggest one that we have in this horse pack, Avatar 12.25 SD. 6,800 liters. As you can see, that's mixed between seeds and fert. 300 horsepower, so not super horsepower heavy. 12 meters, good size. Let's go 195 grand. Again, a little bit expensive, but well worth it. It looks cool. Your tank setups, 2960 on the seeds, 3840 on the fert, 3360, 3840, 2960, and 3840. So different options there for your seed and your fert. 2 different options. You want to do a little bit extra seeds, get that little tank on the front, you're good to go. Wheel brands, we've got the Michelin, Continental, Vredestein, and back to Trelleborg. Now these are only standard and wide on these. And then our seeder unit, we have design 2, as we can go up above there so you can see it. Design 1, design 2. Again, different styles for those seeder units that are available on a lot of these pieces of Horsch equipment. A 12-meter seeder takes seeds and fert. Now we start off with the first of 2 planters, the Maestro 9.75 RX. 630 liters start off with, 170 horsepower, so not bad. 6 meters, 9 miles an hour, 70 grand, excuse me, 65 grand to start off with. We got options already set up there. This also comes with the fertilizer distribution unit. You put that on there. There is your fert distribution unit. You're going to want your tank with that, of course. Not bad for 5 grand to do that. Track loosening tire, tines, yes and no. Now again, that's going to make it so your tires don't compact soil. Realism, you got those 4 tines right there. A nice feature. And then ridge markers, yes and no. So a 6 meter, 170 horsepower is not too bad for 73.5. A beautiful, beautiful planter that takes seeds and fert. And our second planter, the Maestro 24.50 SV, 9,000 liters, 350 horsepower, 12 meters, another good size, goes 7 miles an hour for 208,000 bucks. Not much else to this. You don't have many options except tires. You have the Michelins in standard, wide, Continental standard wide, Midas standard wide, Bredestein standard wide, and then Trelleborg standard wide and narrow twin. So throw some narrow twins on this planter. Again, beautifully done. Pretty decent capacity, pretty good size planter. All right, our first weed control implement, the Weeder, the Cura 24ST, 200 horsepower, 24.5 meters, whopping size, bigger than the base game, 7 miles an hour, 85 grand. You have tire options of Trelleborg, Michelin, BKTs, or Bredestein. No wides or twins, anything like that, just different brands. A 24.5 meter weeder that only takes 200 horsepower. So a lot of your medium tractors can be able to pull this. Huge. I don't know if people do a lot of weeding anymore without the spot spraying, but you want weeders. This is the one you're going to need to get. 24.5 meters, 85 grand. Pretty good deal. And our last piece of equipment, the hoe, Transformer 12 VF. 250 horsepower at 12 meters. Again, decent size. 7 miles an hour, 95 grand. No options on this other than license plates. Again, it's just a hoe. So when you get those medium-sized weeds, you can use this at 12 meters. Not bad at all. 95 grand. And it looks just amazing. And finally, we have the Horsch Agrovation map, new and revised. Let's jump right in there and go take a look at it. Here is your PDA. As you can see, some very large fields, the largest of which is field 9 there. It is approximately 210 acres, so a big field. Mostly big fields in there, some medium sized down here at the bottom. Areas for some trees, but this is an Agrovation map. You can see we're up here in the top hand corner. Let's go down and do our normal run through as we do on map tours. Our crop calendar, very standard. No new crops, just your base game crops. Fairly standard crop rotation, crop calendar. Again, we go down, no new products. Don't own any animal pens to start off with. And our contracts, these are going to pay very well as they are very big. See, field 1 is 92 acres. Field 5, 63.9 acres. Field 6 is 60 acres. So let's see what kind of field prices we have. Field 16, 5.6 million. You're going to pay a lot for those 210 acres. We have 2.6 for field 10. Some of these smaller ones, field 4, very manageable. $121,000 for 1.26 acres. So not exactly cheap, but got a lot of room to work with here. Field 6. Forestry areas, 412 grand. 298. 336. So a little bit on the pricey side for your field prices, but overall not horrible. Now, what do we start off with in equipment? A lot. Large tractors. As you can see, we've got 9RXs. We've got Fence. Big 8R. The Fendt Vario. A nice big class Lexion 8900. Trailers. Header. 13.8. Nothing to complain about there. And of course, all of the Horsch pack equipment. There's the disc harrow. There's your extra tank, your planter, your weeders. You only get the one planter. You don't get the big boy planter. Seeder. You do get the decent one. The 12 meter. Pretty nice. Of course, a header trailer and some weights. So a lot to start off with. Let's fly around and we will show you what we got. Here's your starting farmyard. Over here, inside there is your sleep trigger. All these doors, we're flying around a little too fast. All these doors are openable. Everything inside is very well decorated. We got some big bags of fert here. And your various triggers. Repair shop here. A lot of detail put in this stuff. You're going to have plenty of storage to start off with. The sounds on those doors are just amazing. Hopefully you guys can hear those. But again, plenty of garage space. Some little bays here, which are kind of interesting. As we roll around here to where our equipment is. And if you don't have enough room to store stuff, you have too much stuff on this map. And here's our equipment. Again, we got more stations here. Diesel. Another nice big shed for our equipment. Like I said, plenty of space. If you run out, start selling some stuff. More and more sheds. So again, let's fly up. A beautiful, beautiful town in the background. We run off the map. All that is not accessible. Just gonna give you a nice view when you're down here. Give the map some depth. Start off in this top corner. And here are your fields. Again, very, very large. The equipment will handle it. And the fact that you can do multiple things at once with the seeding or the slurry distribution, the fert, and the cultivating at the same time, it's going to help you out a lot. Now this field, as you can see, this is field 9. This is your biggest field. It is gigantic. Ginormous. Redonkulously big. So this is the one you're going to aspire to, or buy it right off the start and just go to town. And some smaller fields down here if you want to start. The signage all the way around is fantastic. There's your hay and forage pack. You've got a BGA. Sub points dotted around the map. Again, the buildings and everything are very well done. Lots of nice little details in here. We go down this main road. Again, you'll see these giant fields. You have, in some spaces, yes, trees. Trees out here. A little bit of a obstacle for you. You have the power lines. A nice little house there. Show you where we are on the map here. Down by the lake. Let's go around down here for more fields. This is where you're going to find your smaller fields down here if you want to start smaller. Come down by the lake. Got 4 there. Not very big at all. This area here, if you would like to do some logging, you've got a nice path going through there. You could do some logging. And as we come up to field 2, the very tiny field 3, and little bits of decoration all around. As you can see there, some cut down logs. This is going to be a big fields, big farming map. And again, down to some sell points, silos. Signage everywhere is gorgeous. But this is where you're going to want to bring your horse pack, test all your new equipment out, see how it works. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. It is still available for pre-order if you're watching this when it releases. If not, go out there and order it. You can still use my Giants code will help out the channel. I would appreciate it if you get it through Giants for PC. And if not, I hope you enjoyed this early access look at the 14 beautiful implements and the gorgeous map released in the Horsch Agrovation pack included in the Season 2 DLC. If you like these videos, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and until next time, thank you for watching.